Okay, for this week of the week of January 29th, I would like to, for the current, for the current event, I would like to focus on the ideas of budgeting and planning for the future in a sports organization. And of course, I'm going to be highlighting an MLB situation again. Budgeting is, of course, very important in the sports organization of itself. Any sports organization, you have to know what you're spending, what you're making, and making sure it's at least balanced, and hopefully revenues are present. And then with a complete budget, with a good budget, you can look to the future and prepare future plans and future budgets. So in this current event, I'd like to talk about the free agency of Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani is possibly the best baseball player that we have seen since, since ever. He is a two-way, which means that he pitches and hits. And we haven't seen that since Babe Ruth. And even Shohei Ohtani is outperforming Babe Ruth. He's broken many of his records and is going to continue to do so for what seems to be a good amount of time. So with that performance, obviously there comes a price tag. A lot of the MLB reporters and insiders that I've read their articles and just seen talks have commented that $500 million contract is not out of the question. And especially nowadays when we have owners like Steve Cohen and others who are very likely and willing to spend for the product on the field. Nowadays we have many different $300 million, $400 million contracts already, and those players aren't Shohei Ohtani. So Shohei is going to get a very good amount of money in this next contract. And so coming into the free agency of next season, after this 2023 season, he will be a free agent. So coming into that free agency as an MLB team, you have to look at your current status, like where you are performing on the field, where you are, how you're performing on the books, and from there you can decide whether or not Shohei Ohtani is a good fit for you or not. In explanation, a baseball team that is underperforming and on the field specifically, underperforming on the field, would not want to commit this much money to one player when they need, there are 9 guys on the field at one time, and there's 16 more in a playoff dugout. So you've got a total of 25 guys that you have to pay, and paying one man a $500 million contract while you are underperforming as a team right now would not be an intelligent move. You can allocate all that money, all that $500 million into 10 or 11 different guys who can perform for you. Although they won't perform at the level Shohei Ohtani will, it will make your team better to go after more than one guy and improve as a team than just getting the one guy and him just being, the unicorn of the team. So on the field product is important in this decision. And then you have obviously you have the financial side of things. Companies, or not companies, I'm sorry, teams that are underperforming financially aren't getting the revenues that they need to, and are having to look forward to the shared revenue system that they have in place right now. Those teams aren't in a financial position to give this $500 million contract to Shohei Ohtani. So, with that, that's my current event. Shohei Ohtani's future free agency. I figured I won't be in this class in a year, so might as well use that as a current event. 2 questions. I forgot to do that in my first one, but 2 questions. 2 discussion questions for the class. As a team that's underperforming on the field, would you rather give Shohei the $500 million contract and say, hey, we have the best player in the world? He came from Japan and was dominating there too. And so would you rather, as a underperforming team, tell your fans, hey, we have the best player in the world, come see him? Or would you rather spend that $500 million on a whole team worth of guys that can help you improve the on-field performance of your team? And then let's see, number 2, what's a good question for number 2? If you were an owner of a well-performing team that does have the money to spend on Shohei, especially in the market that we're in, that the sport's in now, money is spent ridiculously. If you were a guy like Stephen Cohen, who's spent practically $1 billion in the past 2 years getting free agents and signing guys, do you think it's worth it to spend? Do you still think it's worth it to spend $500 million on one guy? That is it for my current event of the week of